A foreign ammo giant just planted its flag deep in American soil. And they're not setting up a storefront. They're building a bullet empire. Could this be the lifeline we need now that the top U.S. ammo producer just sold everything off? In this video, we'll talk about the $300 million move by CBC Global Ammunition to build a fully integrated ammo plant in Oklahoma, and why it couldn't have come at a better time. While Vista Outdoor offloads its entire ammunition operation to a foreign buyer, CBC is doing the opposite, bringing jobs, infrastructure, and full-spectrum production into America. You'll learn how this century-old company quietly owns Magtech, MEN, and SinterFire, plus major stakes in Taurus, Rossi, and even Colt CZ Group. We'll break down how this new facility will manufacture not just cartridges, but everything from brass to primers to gunpowder, all on U.S. soil, and we'll explore how CBC's global manufacturing horsepower, firearm industry ties, and deep supply chain control could completely reshape how American shooters access, store, and trust their ammo supply. This isn't just another ammo brand showing up with big promises. This is a factory, a legacy, and a playbook for what American manufacturing should look like in 2025. CBC Global Ammunition just detonated the industry news cycle with a pledge to pour $300 million into a fully integrated ammunition complex in Pryor, Oklahoma. For most American shooters, the name still feels fresh. Yet this company has been feeding barrels for nearly 100 years. It began in 1926, when Costabile and Giannicola Matarazzo, two Italian immigrants in São Paulo, scavenged stamping presses, cranked out small arms cartridges for Brazil's turbulent military, and proved that making every component in-house beats waiting on fickle suppliers. That founding philosophy never changed. It simply expanded. One decade, they added brass mills, the next primer lines, then powder towers, until the original workshop morphed into a multinational ecosystem that now produces well north of 1 billion rounds each year. The brand you see on the shelf might say Magtech, MEN, or SinterFire, but the DNA traces back to those brothers and a relentless insistence on controlling every step from raw metal to boxed cartridge. CBC's global footprint makes a world tour look tame. In Brazil, the Ribeirão Pires campus supplies 22 plinking bricks, 308 hunting soft points, and 50 caliber solids for helicopter gate guns. Across the Atlantic, the MEN factory on the Lahn River fills NATO belts with 7.62 and stamps subgun magazines full of 9mm, destined for European police academies. A Belgian engineering office quietly rewrites primer cup geometry so misfire rates drop below bankruptcy grade. Rather than scatter talent, the company hops borders to park specialists where local expertise already thrives, then feeds lessons learned back into the collective. All of that institutional muscle will soon channel into the Oklahoma hills, anchoring an operation that covers 500 acres of the Mid-America Industrial Park, once a World War II munitions hub, still laced with heavy rail spurs, natural gas capacity, and more wind-driven electricity than a batch of double-base powder could ever wish for. Site selection wasn't accidental. State officials dangled quick-action closing fund incentives, but location mattered more. The park sits one freeway hop from Tulsa's inland port and 2 freight lines that deliver copper strip, cotton linters, and nitric acid without Port Authority slowdowns. CBC's executives also valued Oklahoma's regulatory climate. Only one other private U.S. facility produces nitrocellulose, and most of its output vanishes straight into military contracts. By cloning its Brazilian propellant towers inside the American interior, CBC reduces import risk, wins points on Buy American defense bids, and, perhaps most importantly for everyday shooters, opens the door to a fresh domestic powder source at retail. Vertical integration drives the entire plan. Railcars unload copper coil that heads directly to Fritz Werner draw presses. Yes, CBC owns that German machinery firm too, where brass cups stretch into cases under automated vision cameras. Nearby mixers churn styphnate-free primer slurry, while the powder tower refines cotton and acids into tailored grains that burn at a curve determined in the company's White Room ballistics lab. Cartridges leave the campus fully formed, no subcontracted components, no overseas barges, And no delays because a supplier 1,000 miles away missed a delivery window. That self-sufficiency drew Oklahoma's economic development team like iron filings to a magnet, promising 350 skilled jobs that average north of $55,000 and feed 2 regional community college apprenticeship pipelines. Magtech is the storefront most American gun owners recognize, the blue and gold boxes that run clean in rental Glocks and personal defense carbines alike. The magic behind that reliability is CBC's refusal to outsource quality. A lot that fails moisture chamber or cold soak testing never sees cardboard. German-made MEN ammunition adds battlefield credibility. Its 124 grain truncated cone 9mm is a cult favorite among PCC competitors who prize gentle recoil and perfect feeding. Over in Pennsylvania, SinterFire joined the family in 2023, bringing patented lead-free frangible billets that vaporize on steel and concrete, making shoothouse instructors sigh with relief and range insurance auditors less cranky. Cellier and Bellet still appears on American shelves, even after CBC swapped the Czech icon to Colt CZ Group for a 27% equity position. That trade gives CBC influence inside storied firearm brands on 2 continents. Meanwhile, SSS Defense in India, another CBC holding, focuses on cutting-edge ammunition for Asian militaries. Every acquisition or partnership loops back into the same R&D pool. Polymer case experiments in Bangalore inform pressure curve tweaks in Brazil, which then get validated on German strain gauges before landing in Oklahoma spec sheets. The firearm linkages deepen the narrative. CBC owns a significant slice of Taurus Armas, giving it a direct voice in slide metallurgy and feed ramp geometry. Rossi lever actions, long popular with cowboy action crowds, share manufacturing wisdom with Taurus pistols and CBC cartridge engineers. That synergy already shaved malfunctions in the latest Taurus Defender series. Magtech ball ammo reached a 30,000 round endurance mark without a single extractor break. Colt CZ provides another feedback loop. When Colt's competition department chases sub-MOA group sizes, it no longer has to hope an outside ammo maker hits the velocity node. The answer can be engineered in-house, and soon, in-country, because the powder lab and cartridge presses sit 20 minutes from Tulsa International Airport. Machinery ties seal the deal. Fritz Werner and New La Chaussee, both under CBC's corporate umbrella, build the case drawing presses, primer cap stampers, and loader heads that most of Europe's ammunition giants still rely on. Transplanting that tooling into the Mid-America complex gives American engineering students a front-row education rarely seen outside tightly controlled defense plants. A mechanical engineering major from Tulsa Tech can design a new extractor groove cutter on Monday and watch cases roll off a prototype die by Friday. That kind of rapid iteration fuels innovation, trims production bottlenecks, and hands end users better cartridges, faster. So, what does this mean for American shooters today? First, the powder shortage boogeyman finally meets a serious challenger. If CBC clears the final environmental quality audits, 8-pound jugs of Magtech branded powder could appear in local shops as early as next spring. Reloaders who spent 2 election cycles refreshing online carts for Varget or H4350 might discover a temperature-stable alternative produced just a state or 2 away. Second, supply resilience improves for everyone, not just handloaders. When overseas shipping snarls or exchange rates spike, a domestic plant can pull weekend overtime, add a 3rd shift, and put trailers on Interstate 44 without waiting 6 weeks for a container shipped across the Atlantic. Price relief may not be dramatic, at least not at first. Startup costs must amortize, and copper never sells for pennies. The bigger benefit looks like stability. Panic buyers empty shelves every political news cycle, but a plant inside the continental U.S. responds much faster than one on another hemisphere. Freight costs also drop because pallets travel by truck rather than by ocean vessel, shaving a few cents per round that would have padded somebody else's fuel surcharge. Competitive shooters gain in other ways. CBC's Brazilian labs already post extreme spreads in the low teens for 223 match loads at 100-degree Fahrenheit swings. Reproducing that chemistry in Oklahoma removes the import bottleneck that's kept match-grade Magtech Sport ammo from saturating 3-gun matches. Precision rifle series competitors hunting cold-bore predictability may find a new factory option that rivals beloved but scarce Australian ADI powders. Law enforcement agencies appreciate bundled solutions. And CBC delivers. Academy trainees burn SinterFire reduced hazard frangibles in shoot houses all week, then zero their duty guns with MEN bonded hollow points the next. Procurement officers check one vendor, one shipping manifest, one compliance certificate, all while meeting heavy metal-free training mandates. The fact that both loads could ship from Oklahoma rather than docking at Port Houston slashes hurricane risk, a practical matter coastal departments know too well. Military contract officers listen closely when primer science enters the chat. CBC's engineers pioneered a green primer that lights reliably from -40°C Arctic drills to Saharan baking. Early lots suffered shorter shelf life, but the Oklahoma lab's second-gen formula aims for 15 years of sealed storage. Competition with Lake City's M855A2 line keeps everyone honest and ensures Uncle Sam never depends on a single powder tower. And as always, once a primer design passes mil-spec torture, civilian shooters find it trickling down into small rifle and small pistol cartons on gun shop racks. No story is complete without a sober look at red flags. Foreign ownership rattled many when the Czech group CSG moved to acquire Vista's ammo brands. CBC meets the same scrutiny head-on. The U.S. subsidiary maintains a majority American board and incorporates golden share clauses granting Washington first rights if political upheaval ever compromises control. Environmental observers will keep air monitors humming, but CBC parades data from its São Paulo suburb powder plant, which has kept particulate emissions below limits for 20 straight years. The Oklahoma complex adopts identical closed-loop water systems and multi-stage scrubbers, less a goodwill gesture than a prerequisite for uninterrupted production. Construction is already underway. Soil compaction finished before winter freezes. Concrete footings for the powder bunkers cure under heated tents. And Fritz Werner technicians from Germany have scheduled spring visits to install press lines. CBC plans a staggered product rollout. 115-grain 9mm ball and 55-grain 223 full metal jacket first, then SinterFire frangible, followed by MEN's duty loads and a hunter's menu featuring lead-free monolithics in 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor. Revolver fans will have to wait a touch longer for 327 Federal and 454 Castle, but the tooling is on the list, and company representatives hint that lever gun ammo could appear once brass thickness tweaks are validated. Retailers are ready to trumpet the Made in U.S.A. by CBC tag. Expect early adopters to grab boxes for chrono sessions, post velocity strings, and dissect groups at 200 yards. That consumer-level data carries more weight than any press release. Today's shooting public reads Doppler radar output the way Wall Street reads earnings reports. CBC seems confident. Several U.S.P.S.A. Grandmasters received unmarked sample lots and return numbers showing extreme spreads below 11 feet per second. If that kind of consistency holds, word will spread faster than any marketing team can type. Economic spillovers ripple outward. 2 community colleges added ballistics machining electives tied to paid internships at the plant. Students design carbide draw dies in SolidWorks on Monday, then watch those dies spit out gleaming 30-06 cases by Friday afternoon. A cradle-to-carton experience that keeps skilled youth from fleeing rural Oklahoma for coastal tech hubs. Town merchants welcome the construction crews, but they're eyeing the longer game. Stable payrolls, secondary suppliers, and even tourism dollars from shooters attending factory demo days. Copper volatility, political headwinds, and tornado season remain wildcards. A short copper squeeze can stall case production. Tornado warnings force powder silos to temporary idleness. Still, CBC's diversified sourcing contracts and climate-hardened build specs reduce those risks. The company has financed extra inventory buffers for critical chemicals. And tower structures include missile-rated shock panels designed by engineers who learned hard lessons covering Brazilian plants during tropical storm surges. Colt enthusiasts dream of rifle and ammo bundles that leverage CBC's dual influence. Imagine a Colt competition AR shipping with 200 rounds tuned to that barrel's harmonics. Shotgun fans might see Rossi lever actions paired with Magtech cowboy action loads right in the same retailer aisle. Integrated options drive rifle sales, empty ammo pallets, and remind legislators that firearm culture isn't some fringe backwater. It's a sophisticated economic engine supporting thousands of domestic jobs. Vista Outdoor's sale still looms. Yet CBC's ground-up American investment shifts the narrative from foreign dependence to collaborative growth. Competition benefits the consumer, military readiness, and the broader principle of a diversified Second Amendment supply chain. Every new node hardens the system against political turbulence, pandemics, and shipping crises. When boxes stamped Pryor, OK finally land on the shelf and you feel their weight. Remember the journey. Two immigrant brothers, a Brazilian workshop, decades of relentless vertical build-out, and now a 500-acre promise that American shooters won't have to watch social media panic waves drain shelves ever again. So, keep an eye on Tulsa freight yards this fall. Trailers marked with fresh CBC logos will start rolling west to big box chains and east to mom-and-pop storefronts. When you rip open that first case and the factory sheen flashes under fluorescent lights, you'll see more than new brass. You'll see a century-old idea that ammunition gets better when the people who care most about it make every piece themselves, reborn on U.S. soil, and ready to keep ranges loud, hunters ethical, and personal freedoms firmly defended. And that's a wrap. Do you trust CBC to deliver on American-made powder and ammo? Are you excited to see Magtech and SinterFire stamped with USA? Would you buy CBC powder for your reload bench? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit like, share this with your shooting buddies, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss a round from our channel. Thanks for watching.